Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Farrell, and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. We begin with two big breaking stories. First to Meriden, where an overturned vehicle crashed on southbound I-91 tonight. This happened just before 8:30, and that crash has led to the closure of two of the three lanes, the left and center lanes. Again, this is on I-91 southbound between exits 19 and 18. We'll keep you updated on this breaking news as we learn more. And the other big news is that a report that tomorrow is decision day for UConn men's basketball coach Dan Hurley. As you know, the champion head coach has been in talks since last week with the Los Angeles Lakers. And ESPN is reporting tonight that Hurley has revealed that he plans to make a decision on his future tomorrow. According to ESPN, the Lakers made a, quote, compelling case, but he loves what he's built with the two-time defending champions in stores. Again, Hurley is weighing on his decision, and according to ESPN, he'll make it tomorrow. Count on Fox 61 to be all over this coverage tomorrow. All right, now let's head over to the weather. And before you make plans for your Monday and the week beyond, let's check in with meteorologist Ryan Breton. Hey, Ryan.
I can't forecast what coach is going to do.
I was going to say, what do you think?
I have my fingers crossed he's going to stay, but that's a compelling offer. I mean, how often do you get something like that? So.
True, and he said he's wanted to coach in the NBA, so we'll have to see.
Well, we'll be sitting on pins and needles all night long, Alexa. Weather-wise, I can predict, and that is that we'll have a comfortable start to the week, but by the end of the week, it's going to feel very different with heat and humidity returning. We had rain this morning, then the clouds cleared. We saw some sunshine and a few pop-up showers tonight. There is one lingering shower that's going right through Milford and New Haven right now, but once that moves out, the rest of the night we will have a clearing sky, and by tomorrow morning, actually a sunny start. Clouds will be billowing up though, late morning, midday tomorrow, much like we've seen over the last few days, and there may be an isolated sprinkle or shower, but most of the time tomorrow will be dry. Low temperatures tonight in the 50s inland, right around 60 at the shoreline, so a very comfortable night for sleeping. And this may be the last bus stop forecast on a Sunday night of this school year. Comfortable start out the door, and then temperatures back into the mid-70s tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about the changes coming later this week when the humidity returns too. We'll see you with that coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, thanks, Ryan. A new sculpture honoring the contributions Italian Americans have made to New Haven, to Connecticut, and our country was unveiled this afternoon in the Elm City. Its dedication comes 4 years after controversy erupted and lawsuits over the removal of a statue of Christopher Columbus. This for his colonization of the Americas and exploitation of indigenous peoples. But today was not about that. Today was about the new monument that, as Fox 61's Jake Garcia shows us, brings new hope to New Haven.
In the Little Italy neighborhood of New Haven sits Worcester Square Park. It's where the statue of Christopher Columbus stood for more than a century. But in 2020, following the killing of George Floyd, a nationwide movement calling for the removal of controversial landmarks gained steam, including here in Connecticut. A local high school student petitioned that the Elm City take down the statue of Columbus. And later that year, the city did just that, amid tense protests.
Right now.
Many Italian Americans in New Haven were outraged, arguing that by removing the Columbus monument, their history was being erased. Mayor Justin Elliker then established a committee in hopes of making sure the contributions of Italian Americans wouldn't be forgotten.
And I think that we in New Haven responded in a way where we proactively removed the statue, but also engaged the community in a long process that was a collaborative process to come up with something that can effectively honor Italian American heritage in a way that doesn't offend or divide other people in our community.
4 years later, a new monument has been unveiled, with hundreds of people attending the dedication ceremony, hearing from state and community leaders.
This statue is a memorial and an inspiration to each and every one of us, and what this nation means, and the amazing Italians that came and made this country all it could be.
The sculptor behind the new monument describes the moment he began this work of art.
And right there, as the monument was coming down on the news, I picked up a sketch pad and I started sketching out what you see here.
He says he wanted the monument to be authentic, so he drew inspiration from his family's immigrant story.
I then retrieved some photographs that my mother had of my grandparents when they came here, and I started to refine the sketch based on the photographs I had of my grandparents.
He describes how the details matter, from the boy pointing.
And my wife said, "What is he pointing at?" And I said, "It could be anything. It could be the Statue of Liberty. It could be the American flag. Maybe they're pointing at the skylight at New Haven as they're entering."
To what the girl is holding in her hand.
I wanted her to hold a book, and the book's title is clearly visible. It says The History of the United States. I wanted that to represent the opportunity now for a child her age to get an education, something that she would not have gotten in maybe the country that she came from.
To how the family is positioned.
The mother is holding her daughter's shoulder, and she's holding her husband's arm. She's the unifying effect in the family of holding the family together.
The monument is called Indicando la Via al Futuro, or pointing the way to the future, which Massaro hopes people will find relevant to their own experience when they visit the monument.
This is anybody, this is all of us coming here, with the exception, the exclusivity of the indigenous people who were on this continent long before any of us showed up. Aside from them, we're all from somewhere else. And we need to acknowledge that and not look down on anybody else, because we all have that common denominator. We're all from somewhere else.
In New Haven, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right. Thank you so much, Jake. Manchester police have arrested the driver they say collided with a teenager riding a motorized scooter. The collision happened Friday morning at the intersection of West Middle Turnpike and New State Road. The 15-year-old riding the scooter was brought to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say 26-year-old Catherine Fryer of Hartford was driving this car right there, a green Nissan Altima, when she struck the teen on his way to school and left the scene before police arrived. Thanks to help from the community, Fryer was arrested today and is being held on a $100,000 bond. She faces several charges, including driving with a suspended license and without sufficient insurance, as well as evading responsibility and risk of injury to a minor. In Tolland, LifeStar was called following a collision between a motorcycle and a car. It happened on the 100 block of Mountain Road last night. The helicopter paramedics transported one person to the hospital. No update yet on their condition. Another motorcycle collision to tell you about tonight, this one involving a deer just before 6 o'clock last evening. Middletown police responded to a crash in which the driver of the motorcycle died. Police say Michael Theed was driving his bike near Zoar's Pond when a deer jumped into the road and collided with his bike. Theed's passenger, Rebecca Cardona, suffered serious injuries to her chest and arm and is in critical condition. Anyone who may have witnessed the crash is asked to contact Middletown Police. A man is in the hospital with serious injuries after a moped crash in Bristol yesterday afternoon. Police tell us while driving, he appeared to not have slowed down at a curve on Riverside Avenue. When officers arrived, he was found near the curb line with the moped on top of him. He was airlifted to a trauma unit hospital where he underwent surgery. Now, if you have any information about the crash or were a witness, Bristol Police would like for you to give them a call. Firefighters in Oxford had an especially challenging call. Someone needed rescue in the wilderness of Naugatuck State Forest. And this was after sundown last night. The call came in just before 9 p.m. Someone was hurt and needed an ambulance. For Oxford units as well as paramedics from Oxford EMS, the Oxford Police Department and the Connecticut Environmental Conservation Police pitched in to locate the injured person and get them to a waiting ambulance. No word on that person's exact injuries or conditions tonight, but kudos to all the first responders for a difficult and dangerous rescue. We have new details tonight on the water rescue in Bantam Lake, which we first told you about last night. It involved a 27-year-old man and a 16-year-old boy, both in distress, and unfortunately ended tragically. Police say 27-year-old Kyrie Dowd of Meriden went underwater yesterday afternoon and did not resurface. Police divers from deep used sonar to locate Dowd and pull him out of the water. EMS paramedics performed CPR and rushed him and the teen to Charlotte Hungerford Hospital. This evening, Deep Police let us know Dowd did die last night. Their investigation into his drowning continues. After more than 150 years, Elmwood Community Church in West Hartford will be closing its doors for good. Jerry Gray, who is the chairman of the Board of Deacons, says they're closing because of decreased membership and the increased cost to keep the building open. He says in all the years open, they did a lot of community volunteer work, and the current members will follow their faith at other places of worship now.
I've been a member here since 1986, and with a couple of years off in between, but so I'm going to miss it a lot.
They say the building is for sale and they do have a potential buyer. Gray says that he's grateful for all the good memories while it was running. New tonight in Israel, a centrist member of Israel's war cabinet has announced his resignation, making good on his threat 1 month ago to quit if Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu did not come up with a new plan for post-war Gaza. Benny Gantz's resignation means Netanyahu will be leaning more heavily on conservative voices in his war cabinet.